Why would you want to pull the title up front on a short sale? Anyone?
See what liens are associated with the property.
Right, exactly. The first thing you want to know is exactly what you're dealing with. So we touched upon it earlier. And if you go to list a property and you haven't done an official title search and you find out there is a $50,000 IRS lien, that's going to be that's really going to be tough to negotiate, in addition to all the mortgages. If you find out there's executions, you have to negotiate that. And I threw water and sewer liens in here. I believe New Hampshire is the same in cities. So your Manchester, Nashua, maybe Portsmouth, your bigger cities where you have town-run water and sewer, that becomes a lien if it's not paid at closing. So that has to be paid off. So you want to make sure that you're looking at all of these things that have to be paid off. And a lot of times the lenders won't pay a water and sewer lien at closing because it's not a lien yet. So let's say you're negotiating a short sale in Manchester and the homeowner owes $800 to the water department and they're not getting a moving incentive, and the lender won't allow that $800 at closing. Again, this is the information that you want up front, because you do not want to find this out at closing, because somebody's going to have to go deep into their pocket for $800. Hopefully it is not the listing agent. So pulling title up front, you can always get with Lori, go to Lighthouse, ask her to help you with title. She can get you a full title report that will outline this information to give to you. So water and sewer isn't going to be on title because it's not a lien yet, but she'll give you the other things that you'll have to worry about. So credit card liens, executions, this all has to be negotiated before you can close. So we'll move on to the responsibility. Say that again.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So on the buyer side, if we're running a title search anyway for the buyer, shouldn't they catch these things to at least be able to have a discussion before we make it to the closing table?
Maybe I don't understand your question. Yes, the buyer runs their own title.
Yeah, the buyer runs their own title and discovers that there are all these liens. That
Correct.
Prompts us to have a discussion before we even get to the closing table, correct?
Right. But if you run title up front first, then you can obviously explain to the buyer that these are all going to be clear by the time you get to the closing table.
Right. I'm just saying, as a backup on the buy side, we're running our own title search for the buyer.
Of course.
So that should, the closing table should not be the first time that anybody is hearing of these liens.
True. But a lot of the times what we've seen is the buyers typically don't run title until A, they're approved for their loan, or B, you're closer to closing. You could be 2 weeks out from closing. And if you find out there's an undischarged mortgage on title that takes 3 months to clear, but you already have short sale approval that's going to expire in 30 days, it's better to know this information and get it all done up front than risk that the lender won't give you an extension on that short sale approval. So you could have a short sale approval and it goes to the buyer's lender to now fund, let's say they want to fund the loan, and they run title and they find this issue, but hopefully, again, like I said, you've already worked on it. Now you can't close. You don't want to find out when you have short sale approval that you can't close. You want everything rolling at the same time. So basically, you don't want an approval letter that you're stuck with and you have to close in 30 days and you can't because title wasn't run and you didn't know something was there, if that makes sense. Because the seller's lender is going to put a restriction on the approval letter. Like, you have only so many days to close.
And I'll add too, a lot of the lenders don't send us the title request until the 11th hour. They've already done all the underwriting, they've got the appraisal, all the inspections are back, and then we finally get title. That's when we get the title request. And a lot of times, I mean, you all know from your sellers, they don't always know, or they're not always truthful about what they might have lurking at the registry on their home. So It is a good idea to have us do that preliminary title report, just to give you an idea if you happen to be representing the seller and the other thing I always say too is, you know, when you're talking to your seller and you've just got this gut feeling that something's not right, go with your gut feeling, because 99% of the time your gut feeling is correct.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Yeah, I can't stress how much I would get this done up front, because it could unravel all the work you've already done if you wait until closing to run your title.